Sometimes a game doesn't just take you on a quest, it abducts you into a world you never saw coming. Last Ninja 2 was that kind of experience. A silent warrior ripped from feudal Japan, thrown into the chaos of modern New York City, and forced to fight for vengeance in alleyways and office towers alike. Released in 1988 for the Commodore 64 and later ported to other home computers, Last Ninja 2 was an action-adventure hybrid like no other. It blended martial arts combat with acrobatic navigation and puzzle solving, all from a distinctive isometric perspective that became a signature of the series. Back then, few games dared to combine so many mechanics in a single journey, but System 3, a British studio with an eye for showmanship, was hungry to push boundaries. System 3 was already riding high off the unexpected success of the original Last Ninja. Its mix of Eastern mystique, fierce combat, and visual ambition had carved out a prominent place on the C64, a machine not exactly known for fluid action mixed with cinematic flair. For the sequel, the stakes were higher, and the challenge steeper. Instead of a spiritual continuation, Last Ninja 2 went bold. It catapulted the saga into a surreal urban jungle, where our hero Armakuni finds himself stranded in the streets and skyscrapers of 1980s Manhattan. The technical ambition of the game was stunning for its time. The use of flip-screen isometric visuals gave a sense of 3D depth rarely seen on home systems in the late 80s. The environments, though static from today's perspective, were bursting with color and detail, from endless office corridors to sewer mazes and Central Park playgrounds. Music, composed by the legendary Matt Gray, elevated every screen transition into an adrenaline-charged moment. His dynamic, synth-heavy soundtrack didn't just underscore the action, it defined the identity of the game. But ambition came with complexity. The isometric perspective was both dazzling and frustrating. Movement relied on diagonal inputs, which demanded a mental shift that wasn't always intuitive with a joystick. Jumping, especially across small platforms or over gaps, required precision bordering on clairvoyance. And combat, while visually satisfying, could feel floaty or awkward, especially when facing multiple enemies in confined spaces. The game rewarded perseverance, but didn't suffer fools lightly. Timing, memory, and patience were as essential as reflexes. Puzzles added intellectual weight to the action. True to its adventure roots, Last Ninja 2 often placed progression behind small but meaningful item-based riddles. Finding the right way to use a rope, identify a switch, or unlock a door without modern saves or hints added pressure. There were no pop-ups or glowing objectives, just your wits, and maybe a peripheral peek at the manual if you were lucky. Yet what truly made Last Ninja 2 unforgettable was its tone. This wasn't just another martial arts fantasy. It was a fish-out-of-water tale told through pixels. A lone ninja navigating the grime and glamour of American urban life with honor as his only guide. The juxtaposition of swords and street signs, of ancient tradition pitted against cold steel elevators, gave the game a dreamlike edge that players still talk about today. Around the community, Last Ninja 2 became a cult obsession. Speedrunners found ways to glitch through levels or bypass whole sections with perfect movement. Tape and disc versions created subtle gameplay differences, giving rise to strategy debates. And that soundtrack, especially the iconic Central Park theme, went on to inspire remixes, orchestral tributes, and full-blown fan albums that still circulate through retro forums and synthwave circles to this day. The game was ported to the Amiga, Atari ST, and other systems, but even with graphical enhancements, none quite captured the balance the C64 version struck between performance, charm, and challenge. A third installment, Last Ninja 3, followed a few years later, with refined visuals but a colder reception. Attempts to resurrect the series in 3D never quite found their footing, and several reboots or remakes were started, then quietly buried. Yet the spirit of Last Ninja lives on. You can see its DNA in modern stealth action hybrids, in indie titles that embrace isometric perspectives, and in soundtracks that echo Matt Gray's ambitious compositions. It dared to merge genres at a time when games were neatly divided into action or adventure, and it asked players to master not just a blade, but a new way of moving, thinking, and seeing. Today, it holds up better than you might expect. Yes, the controls take a moment, or many, to recalibrate. Some of its design choices, like instant death jumps or cryptic puzzles, feel relic-like. But layered beneath those quirks is a tightly woven experience drenched in atmosphere. For retro lovers hungry for more than simple Twitch action, Last Ninja 2 offers a baroque journey packed with mood, challenge, and style. It's a time capsule of design ambition colliding with hardware limitation and somehow dancing instead of breaking. In the end, Last Ninja 2 delivered on that wild promise to turn a quiet warrior's revenge into a neon-lit odyssey through an alien city. It was strange, bold, and unforgettable. And if you've never stepped into Armakuni's soft-footed shoes, maybe it's time you did. If this dive into shadowed alleys and synth-powered swordplay lit a spark, don't stop here. Find your next retro obsession by subscribing to Punk Retro on YouTube or heading over to punkretro.com, your dojo for deep cuts, lost classics, and gaming stories worth